when I just passed my high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like most of teenagers, I didn't know. I had no clue. My father had me pass the exam for medicine. I passed it. I didn't want to do medicine. While as a kid, I wanted to become a professional football player. That was my dream.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Jibber with Jabber. Today, we have yet another fighter on the show, and you know how I like to have fighters. And we're also accompanied by a special co-host today. He's been around since I'd probably say 70s. Is it ET? No, it's not ET. Rio Al Taie, MMA doc. If there's anything going on with the fight scene in the UAE or in the GCC, Rio is attached to it one way or another. It's a pleasure to have you here. I just want to ask one question first, Anas, before I start. That T-shirt, it's supposed to be written like that, or is it the CTE that's made the letters all just jump around the place?
I think it's the camera from the other angle.
Right?
You know what I mean?
You know, it was normal first, but after so many fights, it's just like, just put the letters anywhere, bro. I don't know what's happening. It's a pleasure to have you in today, man.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
How's everything good?
All good, thank you.
Rio, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm so happy to be around this man. To me, it's always a surprise, always so much fun to be around this man.
But talk about Anas now as well.
Good one, touche. That's it. Thank you, folks. I'm
thank you.
leaving.
Yeah, tell me why.
Look, ever since he came into the scene, he was one of probably the first fighters to come up with a different look when he entered the arena. Everyone after that started doing it. People just walked straight. They were all scared. They were all, some of them are under the lights. First time he walked in, laughing, dancing from from day one. I think I saw his second and third fight live, I think, and he was always happy, always smiled. Thank God he has beautiful teeth, So it's always a treat when he enters the arenas and the cage.
I was going to say he's a very good looking boy. He looks like a porn star slash fighter, right?
See, I stopped at good looking teeth,
you
but you had to jump in.
You forgot what show this was, bro. You forgot what show this was. I mean,
right away we jumped to the point.
Look, anyone that comes in under the fighting name, the Morrocan sensation, there is something. There's some other things going on behind the scenes there,
guys,
bro.
I'll tell you a secret. It is my stripper's name.
There you go. See, I wanted exclusives here on the show.
Honestly, but before you start, when he first walked in, we have a jacuzzi here that we can have interviews in, and I told him the interview will be right there. He did not miss a beat.
Right?
And he said, "Oh, I forgot to bring my bathing suit. Don't worry about it. I'll do it without it." So
I forgot.
He forgot. It's one of those where you do it on purpose, right? So tell me, you originally had, in your parents' eyes, as many of us Arabs who did anything other than become an engineer, so we were a failure basically in all of our parents' eyes. Anyone that wants to do anything out of doctor, and apart from Dr. Rio Al Taie, but you know how it is. They just don't understand, right? They want you to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. So how was that the case? Because
Man, when I just passed my high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like most of teenagers, I didn't know. I had no clue. My father had me pass the exam for medicine. I passed it. I didn't want to do medicine. They told me, just pass the exam and see how it goes. And I was thinking, man, I'm going to study for years. And then I was looking at it like short term. I didn't see the long term. And then again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So at the end, when it was like last minute, my dad was like, you know what? I found this uni for IT. You're going to go and become an IT engineer. And I did. I studied. While as a kid, I wanted to become a professional football player. That was my dream. That's what everybody thought I was going to be. I was good. And I remember this vividly as a kid. My dad asked me, "Oh, what do you want to do when you grow up?" I want to become a football player. He's like, go do your homework. That doesn't work here in Morocco, which is true. You need to know someone or be very, very lucky or be mega rich to be selected.
Yeah, unless you know the coach at Raja or something like that.
Yeah, right? And then, anyway, so I'll go to uni, I do IT, I get my bachelor degree, and then again, I don't know what to do. And
this is in England or
this is in Morocco. It was like the first off-campus center in Morocco from the UK. So my dad was like, what do you want to do next? I was like, okay, I might as well just do my master's degree. So what do? I go with the same university, but in the UK to do my master's degree. Anyway, I stopped playing football. I was studying and working at the same time because I had to pay for rent, for food, and all that. My parents were helping me as much as they could, but we weren't rich. So because I stopped playing football and I stopped sports and I was just studying and working, and it was like at random times, I went from 73 kilos to 112 kilos.
Oh, did you?
Wow.
Did you eat your roommate or something?
Yeah, right.
Everything. Because my shifts as well at work, it was like one day it'll be midnight, one day it'll be 10 p.m. I used to do stock taking, so inventory. So it'll be at random times and I'll just eat whatever is ready, you know, whatever is fast, and sleep and study and all that. Anyway,
That's
so
big.
yeah, I was.
I bet he still looked
massive.
fucking good though when he was that, right?
Oh,
He
no,
was just
no,
like,
no.
just
I was
big.
a round
Yeah, yeah.
face,
Yeah.
you know, cheeks and everything. I was
Yeah.
fat. So when I finished my studies, I was like, okay, now I need to go back to some sports. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to play football.
Well,
112 kilos.
Unless you're a goalkeeper, you know.
But even as a goalkeeper, I couldn't
Yeah,
even
you need
jump.
to be nifty,
man.
bro. As a goalkeeper, if he jumped down, he could do the save, but he can't get back up to save the next one. That's coming as
Yeah.
well, yeah.
So me and a friend of mine from uni, we started watching the early UFCs and all that, and he was like, okay, why don't we start with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? And we found an academy and we started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Anyway, I started just for fitness, and I found a job. I was working at the same time in IT. So 2 years working in IT, doing Jiu-Jitsu. After 1 month of starting, my coach encouraged me to go for a competition, which was really nice of him, actually, because some coaches, they refuse that, you know. So as a fat guy, I register, and there's a weight category in Jiu-Jitsu, as we know. So I try to make the weight gradually go down. I go to Scotland to compete. I win bronze, like after a month of training. That was good. I felt good. So I started training like that and dropping the weight like that.
When was this?
This was in 2009.
I never realized jiu-jitsu was that big in Scotland back then.
Yeah.
They had early days, but not Scotland. I thought England, yes.
I just
but
imagine
Scotland,
them
yeah.
because you know they wear the kilts with
Kilts.
nothing under it. I imagine you walk into the gi class and they're like, no, we just wear the top half of the gi
No
here. Yeah, it's literally no gi bottom, and just the gi on the top with nothing there.
Yeah, so that's how it started, you know, gradually dropping the weights. And then my coach started encouraging me to do some striking, then started mixing everything. All of a sudden, I had the first amateur MMA fight.
How long after you started?
About a year and a half.
Wow, that's
Oh.
quick.
Yeah.
Was the weight getting cut?
Yeah.
Or it was going.
I think for me, yeah, it's if I have an objective, I'll cut the weight. And
So what
that's
was
it.
your weight approximately at that time, at that period?
At that period when I first had my amateur, it was semi-pro MMA. It was at middleweight, so 84,
Oh,
Wow.
not bad.
83, 84. Yeah.
That's
Because I
good, good 50 p.
I
Yeah.
can just imagine, and that actually shows how much commitment you had. Because, I mean, going into jiu-jitsu, 80 kg and shredded, is still hard enough.
Mm.
Like to kind of get through a session.
Yeah.
Being 120 all cheeks must have been hell for you those first couple of months when you were starting.
You know, because I was enjoying the experience, I didn't realize, I didn't feel it as much. I
Wow.
was really enjoying it. I was moving a lot more than before,
Yeah.
because I didn't move at all for like 1 year and a half. I didn't do anything, you know. So no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process. So anyway, 3 years later, I'm still fighting and I'm working, and I changed jobs just so I can fight. I
Wow.
moved to banking because the shift was 4 on, 4 off. So 4 days you work, 4 days you're
Yeah.
off. And I chose that just so I can train because I was enjoying it that much. 3 years later, I'm fighting. My parents have no clue.
They
My
still
parents-
don't know.
They don't know anything. They don't know. They think that I'm just doing jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
And that's it. And 1 year, I remember this call very well. I received a call from my dad. He's like, hey, your cousin, he saw your fight on YouTube. And he told us about it.
Wow.
Man, I wanted to just find that cousin, whoever
Yeah.
that is.
You'd
And
be like,
they
"That
wouldn't
cousin
tell me
doesn't-"
which cousin.
Yeah, that cousin didn't. Well, did he not watch the fight on
No.
YouTube? Like he obviously
Oh,
knows
man.
I'm gonna break him when I see him.
No Christmas dinner for
Right?
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that conversation didn't go well.
Wow.
They wanted me to stop straight away, quit everything, go back
Mm.
to Morocco and just find a new job and just stay there, you know. And then a little bit of negotiations,
Mm.
we came up to the conclusion that I will just stick to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and some kickboxing,
Yeah.
and that's it. Obviously,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
wasn't the case.
You say the negotiation,
No,
you mean
but
a little bit of lying here and there.
But you were right. You mixed the two of them together
Yeah, exactly
to
right.
save time.
They didn't say how much, how much quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. And step by step, in 2013, I had the fight here as a late replacement against Salih Al Ahli, who's an amazing fighter. He was growing up. He was growing so fast here.
Yeah.
Very popular.
But that time with Ali Ahly, you were like 2-0, right?
I
Or
was
something.
2-0
Yeah.
as a professional. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think that fight was very, very crucial in my career, because that's the fight that I came here. I won. I went back to banking, normal, and then 1 year later, I received a message on Facebook saying, "Hey Anas, we watched you last year in Dubai. You had a fight. We liked your character, the way you fight. We're gonna open a sports center here in the UAE, in Dubai, and we would like you to come here to work as a coach and represent us in your fights as well."
But that was before, because Ali Ahly, I think, was your last fight before Munir Lazaz's fight, right?
That happened. So I had Munir Lazar's fight. I had another fight because I was fighting professionally in K1 kickboxing as well. I had 2 fights actually after that in kickboxing, and then they called me, come here. Yeah, I had a fight, 2 fights in Middlesbrough in the UK, and then I came here.
Fucking hell, you have to fight your way out of Middlesbrough, mate. It's not the best area to be in, to be honest. So
The worst experience I had was in Wolverhampton.
yeah.
Yeah, I had this, man, this is a funny story. So I was the only non-British over there, or probably non-European, and walking in, you know, I used to wear the Rasta hat and all the Moroccan stuff, and they were chanting terrorist, terrorist. And then when I beat the guy, they started throwing cans and bottles at the guy and chanting for me, like
Tourist,
clapping for
tourist.
Yeah, turn it to tourist.
Tourist.
Nice.
Yeah, and then 1 week later, that guy, I think he got jailed because he was the drug dealer.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's how he got caught,
Yeah,
right?
that's how he
They've
got
been
caught.
looking for him for ages, and they see him on YouTube doing a fight and stuff, just
Yeah.
in the corner selling drugs.
But that was the time when you fought with Munir
Yeah.
and
The loss,
the loss. And
the lucky loss. Let's talk about the fight in your eyes, because you know a lot of people would have said that was a very lucky.
Man, I
ending
don't
for him.
really like to talk about it
Yeah,
because
I don't care
Mounir
that-
now he's my
you're
colleague.
in my house.
You know
It doesn't
what I
matter
mean?
now. You're in the Jibber's house. All we do in this place is talk. So let's
mean,
talk about
it
it.
is
There's
what
nothing
it
wrong.
is.
You can
It's a
talk
fight.
respectfully.
okay,
Yeah.
but let
You
me
can talk respectfully about it.
talk to it from a neutral point of view. You were dominating the fight. We entered 2 rounds. You were dominating the fight. I think there was like a minute
That was the
14 or
third
something, third round. You were still dominating. You dropped your hands. He spun around, did a round kick high to your face. You dropped your hands thinking that's going to be to the body, went, hit you, and you flew.
Actually,
Literally.
So before the fight, what happened? I had a lot of issues, a lot of personal issues in the UK, work issues as well. I wasn't supposed to.
What was her name? Let's just get down to it.
So anyway, I had a lot of problems, right?
Nobody messes you
And
out
then-
like a moon.
And I was again fat, overweight. I didn't train at all. I didn't train, and this fight was planned a while ago, and I think the ego got me as well because I won all my fights before, 8 semi-professional, 4 K1 kickboxing, 2 or 3 as a professional, and I didn't really push myself that much. I was still working full time. I was just doing it still as a hobby, you know. So I think the ego got me a little bit, and I was like, look, I didn't prepare that much for those fights, and I won kind
Yeah,
of
so
easy,
you're like,
you know.
I'm untouchable.
And then yeah, that kind of thing. And when I got to the fight, cutting the weight as well, I cut a lot of weight. I think in the last 2 days, I cut something like 9 kilos or something like that. And then during the fight, I could feel like the fatigue just getting me. It's not that I dropped my hands because I thought it was a body kick. My brain is saying, put your hands up.
Yeah.
And my arms weren't responding at all. You know what I mean? And
You're on
then
your
I
own,
paid the
buddy.
price
Yeah,
for
right.
it. Yeah, it was like, we're out of here, bro. You're on your own, you know? And then I paid the price for it, you know? But, like, I'm not taking anything away from Mounir. He did a great job. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's my fault, you know?
But you had said after the fight, or maybe a year after, or a couple of years after, you said you would never fight again because people said, would you do a rematch? Said, no, I will not fight. You know. I don't know if you meant Arab fighters in general or you meant him specifically.
Man, I've always hated fighting Arab fighters.
Mm.
I've always asked to avoid that.
Why?
Always, like, I don't know. It's just something in me that what made me feel uncomfortable fighting an Arab
but
fighter.
in which way? I want you to delve deeper into that, because I mean, I've obviously played football with Arabs, so I fought Arab fighters all the time because all they want to do is
I mean,
complain and
yeah.
fight about
No,
stuff.
I'll tell you, there was
Football
a,
is different.
consensus at that period when he declared he doesn't want to fight him. There was a consensus by all the Arab fighters. They were saying that we don't want to fight Arab fighters. They want to, because we want to move forward.
Mm.
And for one of us to lose, it's going to impede his progress. So all of them, I think at that time, correct me if I'm
Mhm.
wrong, decided let's fight other people so we can all progress. And that's why you see those generation of pioneers moving forward all the same pace, and they tried to avoid each other at that time. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you think that was the main reason?
Also, we started working in the same gym. We started working together in Team Noguera Dubai, so that would have been very awkward. A lot of factors. We became friends.
You still work
Like
there.
even with Ali Ahli, I wouldn't fight
Yeah.
again. I wouldn't do that. You know.
But having the loss, like against somebody, do you not have that part of you that's like, I want another
of
go.
course,
I want another
of
go at
course,
that.
of course. But deep inside, I know that it was my fault. You know, and I made that same mistake again
Mm.
at some point against Alex Martinez.
Yes.
I was on vacation. I wasn't in the right mindset. You know, and athletes, they go through that, like in football or anything
yeah.
like that. Athletes go up and down. Psychologically, it's tough to prepare for a fight as well. So I was on vacation. I went to visit my brother in Germany. I was just having the time of my life, and then
And this
I
is
paid the
how long
price, you
before
know.
the fight?
1 month before the fight, I was
Well, which fight?
I
He
was
fought
in-
him twice.
on the one in Jordan. I was very prepared for that. I was top notch. The one in
contest.
Abu Dhabi,
No
yeah,
contest.
The no contest. I was in the best shape of my life. The Abu Dhabi one, I wasn't really into it, and I think I don't know. I don't want to say like the way it turned out in the first fight affected me psychologically, all the sacrifice and all that, and then that happened. But
Well, if you
there was
think about
something.
it, that is your only loss. Your only two losses was the one to Munir and one to Alex.
Yeah.
And the loss to Alex, it was after the getting hit really hard in the very first round, and then you got your second knockout. Like you got knocked
Yeah.
out, you know, on the second fight.
I mean, I wasn't knocked out. I was always conscious.
Yeah.
Like straight after the fall, I remember probably hitting my head hard, and that's what made me a little bit stiff. And when the referee jumped on me, I was like, "Look, I'm okay. I'm just a little bit dizzy, but I'm fine."
Mm.
You know, I didn't argue with the ref. He did a good job. Probably he saw something that
Who was the ref at that time?
Mark Goddard.
Oh, okay. Then
So yeah, he probably had the right
Right,
call,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I can't argue with him, but
Yeah,
It
you
is
can
what
feel
it
safe
is.
when Goddard's
yeah.
there. There's worse.
But I'll tell you what, I remember talking to you a month before that fight. I go, what happened in the last fight? I said, oh, I hit the groin in between. And I said, oh, we'll fight again. And I didn't think you had that sense of urgency between the first fight and second fight. Because I remember that conversation when it happened in the parking lot at my place downstairs. And I asked you, and he said, yeah, I didn't feel... I felt that you thought you would beat him the first time. Second time, you took it for granted. That's how I felt.
yeah, I kind of probably I probably underestimated him. I probably didn't feel good about the first fight, the result of the first fight, and then that affected me in a negative way. It can be different factors.
Yeah, it's crazy how much that kind of psychological thing can happen to somebody during a fight, right? I mean, I'm quite interested to know when you lose to a person, how does it feel when you see them outside? Like, you know, you're walking out, you're in a restaurant, they walk in. Is there a kind of like, shit?
It's like
Is there a bit of fear? Does it trickle on into your real life, or is it kind of, do you separate and go, that was a fight, I didn't do well that
Yeah.
time, but I can still whoop your ass, so don't get excited, kind of thing, you know?
For me, I've always looked at it like football.
Mm.
You know, you'll find teams that are playing against each other, but then there's some players that are good friends with other players, or they hate each other. But outside of football, it's normal.
I disagree. Fighting is not like football. Let's be realistic.
It's a profession.
Because no, but it's a team sport versus an individual thing. To me, the way he explained it, it's like I feel like you're going out with my ex. You know, like it's a little bit different because you're solely responsible for the result. You know, team you can always blame. Oh, the goalkeeper was not so good that day. It's not my fault. I did my job, blah, blah, blah. But when you're the only person in the cage and you lose to someone, maybe I don't want to dwell on this point, but I just think I disagree with the football versus individual. I want to talk about your fight with Alfie. Do you remember you and I talked under there where you told me that was the best trash talking you've ever heard?
Yeah.
Well, hold on, I'll just go back to that point. You know, MMA, if you're alone, you're not going to do anything. You need a team behind you.
100%.
Right?
But
so kind of, even though you're the only one inside, it's still a team.
You can have the
teamwork.
You can have the best coach in the world. They can give you the best advice, but you are the sole decider if you're going to listen or do what you think is right. So that's why I do not agree with the...
Well, it's the same thing in football. The coach can tell you what to do, which position to play, but you're the one responsible if you're going to go to the center or you're going to...
I can find a way to make this really easy. I think we do one round now between the both of you.
Rock,
and
paper,
then,
scissors.
We do one all rules allowed, anything goes. The only rule that is you can't leave the chair. Yeah. Have you seen that? I don't know what it's called, but there is, I mean, you know, there's that slap one where but there's one there's one where they tie the hands together.
Mm-hmm. And then you have to slap.
No, not slap.
The punches one.
It's literally like fight.
Yeah, I've seen that one,
like, so I do have
kicks and everything.
I do have a piece of string here.
No, hold on. I'll
I'll
take the new thing, the pillow fights. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen
and
that
people
one.
take it seriously.
Professional league. Like they even have branded pillows and everything like that.
But doesn't that remind you of Girls on Film, Duran Duran song? That's in the 80s. But anyways, like, you remember that song?
It reminds me of something I used to watch, but it wasn't a Duran Duran.
There you go. With pillow fights, you know. But what do you think of these kinds of, celebrity, white collar celebrity matches, the pillow fights, what he said, the single hand, the slapping? You know, what do you think of those fights as a professional fighter?
I mean, look, each to their own, but I find it a bit unfair that they're getting paid more than fighters who are putting their health on the line and really entertaining people, you know? Because at the end of the day, a pillow fight is not that. It's not that entertaining, is it?
Well, do you know what? I think it is, but I think what you're trying to say is the skill, the time, the time that you've spent in your life to learn how all of these different things in jiu-jitsu and all of these different styles, and then anyone can pillow fight. Do you know what I mean?
Well, but Megan Fox and Scarlett Johansson fighting with pillow fights. Come on,
it's entertaining. But yeah, but I get what you're saying. But let's talk about the Alfie thing.
Yeah.
Like I think you said that was the hardest fight that you've had so far, right?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. The guy was very, very technical, very strong, very athletic. He was way younger than me, very explosive. His kicks, he was throwing kicks from angles that you don't see coming, you know. And he's had so many flashy knockouts, spinning back kicks, axe kicks, you name them.
He hasn't had a cartwheel though, has he?
That's
we'll talk about that after.
Yeah. his first round win, right? With the cartwheel, that was amazing. What, 24
Yeah.
seconds or something that he finished the fight. Yeah. Let's not talk about that yet.
Yeah, and he was a good trash talker as well. You know, he knew how to get under his opponent's skin. The problem for me, like, he was trash talking way before the fight, like for ages. To me, the scale of the importance of the fight wasn't matching the amount of trash talk that he was doing. Like, there was no point in trash talking because the fight wasn't on pay-per-view or it wasn't gonna like bring it brought a big crowd, but it's not because of the trash talk. It's just because I'm based in the UAE and I have a lot of friends that came to support me. But I didn't see the point, and also I couldn't trash talk back because on my social media, like, I've got kids that are following me, my students, their parents, sheikhs, my parents, and I was like, man, I want to say something, but I can't.
But you guys were the stars of the press conference. I was there, and I witnessed it. The whole press conference was about those two, literally, you know, and everything. Alfie dished, and a smiled and said, "I'll show you in the ring. I'll show you in the ring."
He was good the whole way through until he said Tagine doesn't taste nice, and he was like, "Oh, that's too far. Okay, that's too far. Everybody knows that Tagine's amazing." Okay.
Yeah, no, but like not everyone knows I was actually trash talking to him inside the cage.
Ah, yeah.
You know, like I swore at him in English, in Moroccan, in all sort
Yeah.
of languages.
Yeah, yeah.
And at some point, he was like, "What are you on about? What are
Yeah,
you on
yeah.
about?" Because I was talking to him in Moroccan at some point, you
like,
know, and he was like,
yeah.
"What are you on about?"
But he was very surprised at the outcome, and I felt you were, you thought you pulled it off, but you were relieved when they announced it, because again, I was there cage side when this happened.
I, 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 I don't think he looked surprised. If you watched when they raised my hand, he just had his head down and he walked away, because I think deep inside he knew that I won. He even came to me, congratulated me, and said, "Good job." For me, yes, there's always that doubt when it's a decision, because you don't know you don't know how the judges saw it. You know,
Yeah.
it can be like from different angles, different perspectives. I knew I did everything I had to do to win,
True.
but you never know.
His strategy was very blue collar, very methodical. Actually, he didn't do a lot of flashy things because he wanted to make sure, I think, to win. But I think you did the right thing. You know.
Yeah, I mean, my game plan was to pressure him from beginning to the end, you know, and I think my motivation came from my mother, because like before every fight, my mom, she never watches my fight, whether she knows the result or even after the fight, she never watches them. My dad, he's sometimes
not even recorded. Or
not
anything.
even a replay, nothing. And she's always, safety first, be safe, be okay, please just protect your face. Oh, I don't want you to get hurt. For this fight, after all the trash talk he said, she was like, "Oh, we don't like this guy. You're gonna go in, you're gonna smash his face in from the beginning. I don't care what happens to you, you go and smash his face," you know. And I think that gave me like an extra boost as well, you know.
But that's a good thing. I always say this. Recently, everyone wants to be a Conor McGregor, and you were, before anyone else, you knew how to sell fights. You know, in a good way. Like you said, you know, you have a lot of people on your social media you try to avoid, but you sold the fights the way it's supposed to fight, and you backed it up with talent, with skills. While we see the newcomers, and I'm not very fond of the new fighters who their trash talk is longer than their fights. You know, what do you think about the new guys who are coming on the scene and try to trash talk more than their skills?
I would say in a world full of McGregors, be a GSP.
Good one. Is that yours?
Clip.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. No, seriously, is this yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I quote
Or
you?
we
Wait,
can
wait,
change it to bus route.
one second.
Whichever,
No,
whichever
stay
you
with
feel
us.
like.
One second. I just want to just make a clip for myself. You know, guys, I'd say like in a world of McGregors, just be a GSP.
I'm glad you repeated what I told you last night.
This is, like, that's my clip. Yeah, just clip that out. And, do it. Yeah, but look, this is the thing that I think people don't understand. Kobe, Ali, McGregor, you have many of them throughout sport. Once it's once, it's very rare that anybody will do it again believably, or anyone will do it genuinely again. So McGregor came, and that was McGregor. Like, whether he was putting on an act or not, no one else was doing that at the time. When Ali was fighting and the way he was talking, it was Ali. Now, if someone tried to do the same against him, you'd be like, what are you doing? We all know this is Ali. He's been doing it for 10 years now. It's not impressive, you know?
Trash talkers, when you talk about trash talker, people that back it up, Ali, Chael Sonnen, then Conor. But last week there was a fight, I don't know if you saw the boxing match. This kid came in, and he was knocked out, and he was trying to talk trash, and it's all over the social media, saying, under the worst trash talk in history. And he couldn't say anything. "I'll knock you out." And he started cussing. I'll beat you up. And did you hear that? Okay, and he's wearing a fur coat and no shirt and stuff. So I agree with that. Like, people cannot mimic. You need to have your own identity. Like,
you can't. You can't.
You were the first one that wore the Barasti thing, you know, and
I mean, not a lot of people know about the story why I wore that stuff, because we have, like, in Morocco, like from the African side, African influence, there's this culture called Gnawa, and there's Gnawa music and Gnawa culture, and it's like the roots, you know, as well from Africa. Then we have this mixture with Berbers, Amazigh. Then we have the Arab influence. Then we have the other influences from the West or from Europe. But we used to wear them as a kid as to listen to Gnawa and dance with it and all that kind of stuff. So it's all part of the culture, and I'm proud to be Moroccan, proud to be African, proud to be Arab, and I just wanted to show that in the UK to open up that door as well.
I just want to say something because this is quite interesting. I just had Chris Fade on earlier, the show before you, and we were talking about Arab or African and how Moroccans, Egyptians, do they class themselves as Arabs or do they class themselves as Africans? And you get a lot of different kind of opinions on that from the people. So as a Moroccan, do you class yourself as an African or an Arab?
Afro-Arab.
Why you always have to say... Start now, yeah? So I think like the best way to do things would just to be say Afro-Arab, and I think that's a really good way to describe.
What a good point!
Right?
What a good point, sir. I really appreciate
I've
that you were the first one that came up with this. Yeah,
I've actually never heard that before.
I mean, where is Morocco located?
North Africa.
And what language? Kind of. What
Yeah, well,
language?
Let's not get into Morocco, okay?
So does that make us?
Safi khoya.
Hold on, I'll tell you something
Yeah.
now. You know, in the Middle East, they
Yeah.
say Moroccans, they don't speak Arabic. Actually, our words are more related to classical Arabic, Fusha, than other words. I'll give you an
I agree
example.
with you.
For example, how do you say tomorrow in your language, in your dialect? Bukra.
Butcher.
Bacher. Okay? We say غدا.
Ghadda, yeah.
غدا means غدا,
Yeah,
which is the classical Arabic. How do you say pants?
Pantalon.
Pantalon. We
French.
say سروال.
Yeah.
Sirwal is the Arabic word, you know? So it's just the problem is we speak it fast, like as if we're
Fast is an
we
understatement.
speak it
to be-
fast.
yeah.
And then there's the
Yeah.
words that are from
Yeah.
the influence of France,
Yeah.
Spain, Portugal. You know, everyone tried to conquer Morocco and all that.
Saba.
But then they
Yeah.
got tired and sick of
Yeah,
it, and
yeah.
they were like, you people are crazy, we're leaving.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
then we
yeah.
were like,
This
hold
is more
on,
trouble than it's costing us.
hold on, you're not
Yeah.
leaving alone, we're
Yeah.
coming with you.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now
yeah.
and now we're there for life.
Yeah, because I mean, some people they find it, and again, it can be both negatively, and you know, some people will say, no, they're not Arabs, and some people will say, we don't want to be Arab. Do you know what I mean? From both sides. So it's, I think Arab is much bigger than the Africa,
For me,
Arabia
Morocco
kind of
is
thing. I think it's a much, you know, I mean, do you class certain Arabs or not Arabs?
Well, I heard the Lebanese say we're Phoenicians.
Ugh.
I heard. Hold on. I heard a lot of Egyptians saying we're pharaohs. I've never heard Iraqis say they're Babylonians or Assyrians. But you know, to each his own. No matter what you try to get away from, run away from, you are what you are. Don't try. You know, don't try to be something you're not, and embrace it. You know, like he embraced the African part and the Arab part, calling himself like Afro-Arab.
What I said, yeah.
Yeah.
but there are exceptions. There are exceptions. Like for example, the original people of Morocco, they were Berbers. Berbers are not Arabs, you know. So if I was like from a
From that tribe,
Berber descent, and I speak my first language is Berber and not Arabic, that's a different story.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
there's also
Amazigh. Amazigh is a Berber.
What about Tawarak? Tawarak is that's more of.
No, that means
that's,
streets in Arabic.
That's not.
No?
No. Let me ask you this.
Tawari
La-
emergencies.
Tawarak. But let me ask you this. We spoke how we like your interest and everything. Who do you like when they in the press conferences and stuff? Because I noticed lately, honestly, every press conference it's almost a copy and paste of every single press conference. Everyone thanks the organizations, the matchmakers, the head of organizations, the country, everyone, but nobody speaks truly in a way that find it interesting. Who do you like to, not getting in trouble or anything, who do you like to watch in press conferences and selling the fights?
I like Bam Bam.
I love Bam Bam. Shout out to Bam Bam, bro.
Bam Bam is very
Bam Bam's my
interesting.
boy.
Because he's himself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
literally spoke to him yesterday. The guy's he's hilarious without even trying to be, dude.
Yeah.
He could just speak. And even when I had him on the show, I was like, bro, why do you choose those music? Do you know what I mean? And he was like, 2 reasons. One, because like my mum, you know, I grew up listening to all those stuff. And he was like, 2, because when somebody comes in and beats you and they walked into Barbie Girl, you're never going to forget that. You're never going to forget that the guy that beat me came in with I'm a Barbie girl.
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Now he has his own thing with the Shui thing.
Yeah,
coming up.
Shui Vasa and Drink West.
When all is said and done, How would you like to be remembered?
Come on, give him a few fights for more before he answers that question, bro. Like, he's not,
No,
he's
no,
not done it.
no, but he's building his legacy. You know,
Yeah.
he's one of few fighters that have only 2 losses. Right now, I think you're rehabbing from an injury, or
No,
or
it's,
you're all
it's
good, all good.
getting ready.
So
getting
let me
back.
ask you that question prior to that question. When are you going to see you next in the cage?
Hopefully soon, inshallah.
What? That's an answer.
Let's be a
Do you
bit more
accept this an
specific.
answer?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Bloody arsehole answer.
When will I see
Yeah,
AJ?
yeah,
yeah.
When will I see
Hopefully
AJ in
soon,
the year?
inshallah.
Are we going to see you in the cage? Yeah, hopefully
come
soon.
to champs, maybe. Hopefully soon.
Yeah,
soon, man.
soon.
inshallah, before the end of the year.
Can you
Nice.
tell us which organization? Or,
No, not yet. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I had to put him in the corner, you know.
But you're ready to go, no matter who it is, what it is.
Yes.
Okay, so there's been talks of you going to the UFC.
That's the first time I hear that.
Yeah, it's me and Rio, but
Oh, all right.
but
No, I mean, look, I mean, if you think about it, he lost to Mounir, who made it to the UFC. You were dominating that fight. A while back, you had not had only 1 loss since that loss. You captured the HFC title, regardless if it was one organization or not, but you did capture a title under your belt. Your record is very, very respectable. 9-2. You are very articulate. You speak
10
different
and 2.
languages. 10-2.
10-2.
Really?
It's going to be 11-2 after we do the one today.
10 and a half into
yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that was the fight in UAE Warriors.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. And I was doing commentary on
Right.
that.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
Age is coming in. So carry on, Bruce.
Yeah, no, no. So, but I think that's a good record to enter the UFC. I think they don't have a lot of Arab fighters, but we do know that the UFC comes to UAE, where you are here. Also, let's be realistic. Your ties with the Nogueira team does give you a push. Every time they came in, they always had one of the Nogueiras, someone to jump in. So that will give you a push. Recently, I saw you talking to Anderson Silva, and the opinions of a lot of people, he's the GOAT. You know, so these connections will make you closer. So I agree with AJ. When are we going to see you next in the UFC? There is talk about you going to the UFC. People are saying you're 1 or 2 fights away from the UFC. We know that they're coming in October. Maybe you're going to be shortlisted. Have you heard anything about that?
No, to be honest, I haven't heard anything about that.
Are you pursuing it?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I'm pursuing all the big organizations. Every fighter wants to make that dream come true. And
Manager? Who's your manager?
so I'm dealing with Yusuf Nassar from Rubies.
Okay, well, he got a lot of people in. He got Ali Qaisi over there. So you are pushing him, though, because there's something called nagging. All of you guys are married, right?
Yeah.
All of you guys know the effect of nagging, right?
Gets it done. Mate. Gets it done.
There you go. Are you nagging?
I think I'm doing a good balance.
No, this is the
good balance,
mentality of a fiance, not a mentality of a wife.
Yeah, right.
And then the fiance go, if you can, please. But a wife with kids,
Have
you
not
know,
done it
like,
yet?
yeah.
Still isn't done.
Yes,
Yeah.
come on. It's still there every day before he goes, you know, are you
Yeah.
honest? Are you
No, I
nagging?
do trust Yusuf. I trust that he has the best or my best interests in mind, and that if there's anything that's possible, he will do it. And then let's see.
How old are you now?
33? 29.
You should ask these questions.
42. No, I mean, I'm just asking as a fighter
Yeah,
because
I'm 36.
36.
I'm 36, but alhamdulillah, I don't
Yeah, yeah.
feel it. I'm still stuck in 28.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't look it. Alhamdulillah.
alhamdulillah.
mashallah, you know what
No,
I
for a
mean?
fighter
But,
as well, dude, because I haven't
Yeah.
had one professional fight, but I look like I've had 50, bro. So it's like, I give that to you, bro. You've
Thank
obviously
you.
got very good head movement.
Thank
going on. Either that or regeneration skills.
Nagging,
Right.
nagging after 2 kids,
Right,
nagging.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how many years do you see yourself fighting for? What would you say? Do you think it's more of a when I feel like I can't do it anymore, I'm gonna stop, or do you have a okay, look, when I hit 42, that's too old, or
yeah, when I feel like my body can't anymore, then I'll start considering it. Because nowadays, like, look at Yoel Romero, look at what DC did at his age, look at so many Glover Teixeira, look at so many fighters.
Wonder Boy is still fighting. He just signed six fight contract, and he's 40 some. Wonder Boy.
yeah.
although I
so-
wouldn't put Yoel in that kind of group because he looks like he's been made in a lab, to be honest.
Yeah, but
Like
DC,
in the same
for
place they make
example,
Cuban cigars, they made him, bro.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah,
he's a beast.
yeah,
Like just his body composition.
yeah. So it depends. It depends on. I don't know. I'll go for however long I can.
So let me ask you this. Recently, you've been around Anderson Silva. I brought this up, and there was this fight that some people were impressed, some people were not so impressed. What do you feel about those the exhibition fights, white collar, the social knockouts that we have with the, influencers. What's your take on this?
I mean, it's entertaining for some people. For some people, it's not.
I know. I want to know which people
yeah.
are you from, because I know some of your best friends where it felt that it's insulting that those guys getting so much money, and you guys are not getting even 10% of that money.
I mean, look, if you look at it from this side, I have a friend that fought on that show, and he needed the money, and he has a family to feed. I'm not gonna say that he doesn't deserve getting that money, because he's got a family to feed as well. You know what I mean? He's doing whatever he can to feed his family and be well off. So look at it from that side as well. From another side, of course, if a fighter is putting everything they've got, effort-wise, sacrifice-wise, and then they're not getting that similar,
Monetary value.
exactly,
Yeah.
then of course it's not. They're gonna feel that it's not fair.
Would you do it? A celebrity fight?
I would. I don't see why not.
We are
If
been
it's
trying
gonna
to get
be-
you out of this fight today for a long time. You're putting yourself back in it again, bro. Try
Every
to
time
help
I'm
you.
out, they put me back in.
Yeah, look, the way I see it is, you have your Logan Pauls.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Logan Paul because, look, this guy has put his life into boxing now. Okay, he's really putting in the effort. He's really doing the training. And the fights are quite entertaining. I mean, they're not, top level, but he could get there. So he's taking it seriously. I'm not interested in the Rashids and these people who,
You talk about Rashid Bil Hassan.
yeah. What you think?
I
it's
have-
and
I
as a
have
I'm
no
shy.
scared you're just putting those names in. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
as a
no
shy.
Anas
idea
and
what that
these
is.
stuff. So it's like YouTubers that are not fighters.
Yeah, if they've
Do
never,
you know what I mean?
if they've never trained,
They've never
if they've never
fought. They may
if
be
they've
trained.
never-
They maybe started training when they heard that they were going to be a part
yeah,
of it.
that's a different
So that's a
story,
whole
yeah.
different story. But I think, look, take it or you can't take it away from him. Logan Paul brought a lot of eyes back to boxing with those kind of fights that were going, especially even Mayweather fighting his brother. They might not have been taken seriously, but they brought a lot of eyes back to boxing. Now you look at Logan Paul, the undercard that he had with the female fighters, they got paid more money than they've ever been paid ever. They packed out, what's the stadium called? So recently, Logan Paul and what's that British promoter's name? I forgot his name again. I don't know why. Biggest British promoter in history, basically. Just had a female fight, and it was in I think it was Staples Center. I might be wrong, but they basically had the women's fight in there.
Hearn?
Hearn.
Okay.
Packed out the Staples Center, the biggest female fight in history, packed out more than some male fights. And so they're doing things that are, helping a lot of people beyond the whole celebrity kind of fight. So that I agree with. I think it's good. I don't see an issue with that.
Okay, so based on that, people criticized you being the main event or co-main event for HFC. You heard the criticism from some of the close fighters that they
Yeah.
came. Do you think this is justified? If I have a promotion, Rio Al Taie is fighting championships, I'll tell some people, well, some of you guys are not going to get paid, blah, blah, blah. And fighters accept because they want to be on the stage. They want to be inside the octagon. I know you took the fight. I don't know if you got paid or not. There's some rumors that has it that some people got paid and some people didn't. Some fighters said, get me in, free of charge. I just want to have something to show, What's your take on that? Because I'm one of those people that I don't mind. If the fighter said it's okay, I will fight for free as long as it's a pro fight. Even if it's I don't care, $1, I'll fight to make it a pro fight. But at least I'll have something to show, and I'll enter Tapology or Share Dog and stuff. And I was surprised that some fighters went on and saying, no, this is really bad and stuff. What's your take on that?
When I first started fighting in the UK, I fought in a pub. They just took a pub, put a cage in there, and you go register yourself and you go and fight. And
Wow.
you've got someone that's coming to take your head off,
That's some
basically.
snatch stuff there. going on.
In a pub, man. In a pub. In a gentleman's club, in a bar. Fought for 25 quid, 250 quid, which is nothing. Or sometimes they will just give you a percentage of the tickets that you sell.
Yeah.
But I felt like I wanted to fight or I needed to fight, and then if I needed to build up my record and there are no fights, of course I'm gonna put myself there to build up my record to get to where I want to get to. Which is the same for some fighters. They are looking. I know a lot of fighters in Morocco. They want to fight.
True.
They want to fight. They will pay for their flight tickets. They will
True.
pay for their hotel. They're like, just give us a fight, you know, because they know that they can go far in this sport. They've got what it takes,
They just need a chance.
and they just need the chance, you know. So looking at it from the fighter's perspective, of course, some fighters they will accept to go for a fight. From a promoter's perspective, if they don't have the sponsors or the money to pay the fighters, then they should at least look at a way, for example, selling the tickets here. Sell the ticket, take a percentage of the purse of the ticket money as your purse, you know.
So they give them 50 tickets to go sell it.
Yeah.
That's your
And
that's your
then
purse.
that's your purse. In the promotion that we're talking about, some people got paid, some people didn't get paid.
That's what I heard.
You know, it depends on the fighter's record. It depends on their experience, on how valuable they are as well. Are they going to bring the people in, the spectators? Are they going to be entertaining and all that?
But I mean, how would you get in if you're 0-0? You haven't fought. You want to fight and you want to do anything. I know people that get in touch with me and say, "I'll pay you just to get me in." So my thing, I agree with you that you know some people it's good for some people. Maybe it's not bad for some other people. But if you want to get in, you know, you'd pay any price just to get that 1-0, even 0-1 record, because now you're a pro fighter. Then you can apply. You have a record because it's so hard to get. You know, especially in this side of the world, this part of the world, actually, it's hard to get fights, and the promotions are not like they were at one point. We had a dry spell, as you know, between the Desert Force and Phoenix.
Yeah, but not just that. Also, coming out here, it's not like. I mean, look, you go to the UK, you can go and work as a builder while you're doing it. Here, there's the visa. Who are you registered under? All of these things that make it quite difficult to be quite flexible. As you know, America or UK, you just go there, you make sure you have an apartment, and that's it. You can do whatever you want. You can work in a bar. You can do 6 different jobs in a week, and you'll be fine to support yourself. You know, so I think that's also an issue here when it comes to fighters coming out here. If they don't have that sponsorship where someone has chosen them and be like, okay, we're gonna kind of look after you for the time that you're here. That's a big problem.
Change of subject. I heard that you're a musician of some sort. Is that true?
Yeah, I am putting myself I'm getting myself out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to explore certain things. I've never entertained this idea before, but then I had an encounter with some musicians, and we were just chilling together, and there was a guitar there. They saw that I have a guitar, and they were like all playing music and singing and all that.
Can
and
you
then
sing? Yeah, you can.
do you have a guitar here?
No, that's
You know what? If you had
I
told
can
me, I
only
would have brought
sing
my guitar.
where
bro.
there's a guitar.
No, but we'll be humming. We'll be.
We'll bring one next time for sure. On the next
time
one,
for sure. But basically, they heard me play the guitar and sing, and they were like, "Man, you're good. You can sing."
Which song were you singing?
I sang, if I remember well, it was "Candy" by Paolo Nutini.
So can we have a little like something for a sound bite? You know.
Why are you looking at me for? I'm not gonna. He looked at me like save me, looking at the wrong person in the room that's gonna save you.
Come on, just a
We
burst.
said
just a
well,
burst.
next time if there's
Well,
a
no,
guitar,
no,
I'll
come on.
definitely
Do you know
do
what
it
you
for
could do?
guys.
You could grab the UFC belt and hold it like a guitar. if that helps you.
No air guitar. You know?
Okay, let's talk
So
about.
anyway, so they're the ones that told me that you've got a nice voice, and now I'm trying to just having fun with it a little bit.
That's good because if you ever get hecklers and stuff, you can just punch them in the face after if they don't like your music.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So let's talk about fan love. Do you get a lot of respect, a lot of fan love from Morocco?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I still, at this stage, I still feel like I haven't got a lot of fans. I've got a lot of friends. That's another one.
Sometimes in life, guys, you know, you feel like the followers are your friends. You know, you don't class them as followers or fans and stuff. And I think that's really important to keep you humble.
What a great
okay.
saying. Again, you know,
Thanks.
these are 10 things you
Yeah.
said today. You
You
were
said
the
it
first
first.
to
Yeah, you said it first.
You can take them with
Riyad.
you. You can take them with
You
you.
said it first, no?
You know, who would you say is the top Moroccan fighter now, or upcoming Moroccan fighter?
Man, for me, so far, I think I think all the Moroccans, they will agree that Badr Hari was the top fighter and still like a great fighter in the eyes of the Moroccan people. You know, the things that he's achieved in his career, I don't think any other Moroccan fighter has achieved as much as he has so far.
Fighting soon as well. Fighting soon.
Who's he fighting? Which
He's fighting
division?
Overeem, K1 rules.
K1. So what made you choose HFC? What made you fight in there? Especially it being quite new, right? When
Yeah, the one show.
yeah.
Man, it was for me. It was a good opportunity. It was the first event that's gonna be outdoor, just under Burj Khalifa, which to me it was like amazing. The pay was good for me. The
Okay.
the opportunity to fight for a title was good as well. It was appealing, and all of these factors together. I know it was kind of a short notice, or like a quick organization thing, but all these points they were very attractive for me.
Your fight was the best fight of the night, if you remember that. You know, honestly, I mean, I know
Thank you.
you're biased, but no, I did the commentary for that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was last minute.
Was it also the best commentary of the night?
It
Is
was, it was, yeah.
You know, I do English and every. That was English.
Right.
No, but honestly, your fight was really good. It was very. If I were you, would have done the same thing. I would have taken the fight because it's a fight for a title. I don't think you fought for a title before that, right?
Yes. I fought for as a semi-pro. I've got 3 titles: Made for the Cage, Kamikaze, Fight Night. As a K1 fighter or kickboxing fighter, I've got 2 titles with the Contender Promotions, and now with HFC.
Okay. You know,
Yeah. He was like, shit, damn, I didn't even know that.
No. Pro wise, I know
Yeah.
he didn't fight pro wise.
Yeah.
He didn't fight in MMA. He didn't fight for a title.
So
before that.
why do you see yourself now? Which production do you see yourself fighting in?
I don't know yet. I'll have to sit with
Which
my
would you like
management.
to?
I mean, I would love to go to the biggest promotions out
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? Like I think we can all agree, the biggest right now is the UFC, Bellator, PFL. I would like to go and explore that platform.
Wow, I just have to make a prediction right now that he's going to go to PFL.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And PFL pay a lot better than UFC.
Because the body language just changed when he
Yeah,
said that. You know?
PFL,
But I'm
right?
not going to say we're breaking any news or anything, but no, I'm not saying, seriously, I don't know anything.
my body
But body language, I swear, body
Yeah,
language
you went
changed.
like this. I'd
Yes.
like to go to UFC, Brave, or PFL. I think. So I think you gave it away there
Yeah.
on that one. But the PFL do pay well. I mean, you know,
they
Brendan fights in PFL,
yes,
and he turned down a contract for UFC because he was like, why should I?
Exactly, they pay better than UFC, which a lot of promotions do, better than Bellator, which a lot of fighters go from the UFC to it. But PFL, because of the format of the fights, when you're in contract with them, you cannot get out of it like when you are in it. That's why they pay so well. And we know in the Middle East right now, PFL is on NBC. The people can watch it. So it started getting its foot here. They need Arab fighters. So I'm not saying, again, I hope whoever's listening to this, we don't know anything. Myself and AJ just shoot flags all over the place.
Yeah.
If they do hit a target, it's pure coincidence. We are not. Well, I am, but
Me because I mean well, and him because at this age it's just all blanks, bro.
I have 4 kids. You have 2. There you go.
I
Shooting
have
flags.
three.
3 really?
Yeah.
Well,
My first kid is almost the same age as you, so I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. He's 20 years old, dude. It's like ridiculous.
4 that I know of.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
right.
Also, other hobbies type of music, you know, because I know you're a great cook as well. See, I listen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't cook that much. Just
Are we
on
selling him
special-
on a date right now? Because we basically said he looks like a porn star. He plays guitar and sings music and can cook. So, ladies, I think you know we're not out here to talk about fighting. We're out here to get him a date.
Dude, his wife would
He's
kill
already
us.
married. Oh, yeah, I forgot
yeah,
about that. I
yes.
forgot about that. I take all of that back right now. Rio shouldn't have said any of that.
Rio.
Yeah. Always pass it on to someone else, dude. Okay, so let's talk about the fight game now. Who interests you? Who do you like watching? Who do you feel like is overrated too as a fighter?
Let me
That's for both of you.
let me put it this in a different way. Recently, there was a list of the top 10 fighters in the Arab world, and you were in a lot of those lists. And some people didn't like those lists. it was an attempt by 10 pages or 11 pages to list the top 10 Arab fighters without criteria. Everyone had to do their own criteria. And like I said, your name was in top 10, and a lot of them, I think like 7 out of the 11, your name was mentioned over there. What do you think of that list? And then continue with what he asked, what AJ asked.
To be honest with you, I didn't see all the lists from all different pages.
He's like, when I stopped seeing my name, I didn't carry on reading.
No, he was thanking a lot of some people. He thanked specifically, and some people he ignored.
But no, you have to look at like the pioneers of MMA in the Arab region from the beginning, from the early days of Desert Force all the way to now, the UAE Warriors or Brave or whatever.
Do you consider yourself top 10 in your own category, in the criteria you just put in?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I'm not trying to showboat or anything like that, but I think I played a key role in developing the MMA scene in the Arab region.
Top 10.
Yes.
Okay, and so who do you like you said, who do you like to...
And this is not Arab. This is
non-Arab.
This is all over.
Man, I loved like from ages ago, I really liked Bas Rutten. I was a big fan of Bas Rutten. Of course, the GSP, and the list is very long. You know, the list is very long.
Let's pick now. If you... Okay, give me your most exciting ever to watch. Give me the one you would fear the most to fight. And give me... What else?
The GOAT.
The GOATs. Technically.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said it like technically.
The most exciting to watch, I would like to go with Anderson Silva in his prime, or Jose Aldo in his prime.
Wow.
The
one you fear the
one
most.
I fear the most, obviously, Non.
Okay.
Because everyone's got a chance in a fight.
How do you spell his name? Non.
N-O-N-E.
No.
Really?
But
Not even Khabib? Not even...
No. I'm talking about if you had to fight any of them, and I'm not saying fear as in you'd be shaking in your boots, but one of them that you'd be like, okay, this is gonna be a long night.
Man,
Yeah, on
Francis
paper,
Ngannou?
on paper, like Khabib, like
Yeah.
Khamzat, on paper.
Kumar Osman?
Yeah, Kumar Osman,
AJ.
AJ, Rio.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, the list is long
Yeah.
on paper. Who's gonna be like a difficult fighter?
Mm.
But at the end of the day, it's a fight.
Everyone has a
It's,
chance. But who's your GOAT? Top 3 GOATs? Because I don't want to pin you down to one.
Muhammad Ali,
No. MMA.
he fought MMA.
He fought against Taekwondo guy and a wrestler. It's hard to consider.
Still, it
MMA
wasn't
then.
MMA.
Okay, so
Yes or no?
we're gonna say-
Do we all agree that it wasn't MMA? It
No,
was
it's
I wouldn't say all agree.
striking and grappling.
Okay, but it wasn't enough.
yeah, it
That's
wasn't
like saying
enough.
that's like putting McGregor in there in one of the boxing goats. It's like he had one fight. That's not
Yeah, but still, the rules were MMA, right?
Okay.
It was mixed.
okay.
Yeah, okay, well, then Rocky Balboa and Bruce
Yeah,
Lee.
yeah, exactly, right.
Well, he fought Hulk Hogan, and Bruce Lee fought Chuck
he
Norris.
fought Mr. T as well. Don't
Yes.
forget that one.
Yeah, but that was boxing.
Huh?
He fought Hulk Hogan. I can't believe we're discussing Rocky.
you know, like the people listening are not gonna know who Mr. T is nowadays.
Oh,
and
I pity
who's
the fool,
Hulk.
man.
What?
Yeah, I pity the fool. They better Google Mr. T.
See,
Yeah.
Batman.
And
he
you'll
fought-
find my new haircut.
Hold on, Batman fought. Hey, I can't believe,
I can't do this again.
I can't believe you stabbed me.
I can't do that
I
again.
stabbed you too. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
And so the GOAT, seriously, MMA. you know.
Okay.
Realistically, people that sanctioned MMA fighters.
That was their
I would-
main career.
The goats.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would say.
He's going to start listing
I
off
would
real
say-
goats now. I had one goat in Morocco that I knew.
The white one that used to jump on the hills.
I saw one in the mountain once balancing on a tree.
And
that was a really
on
good
one
goat.
leg.
And the one that we ate,
Yeah,
it just
right.
is so
And-
good.
And the Eid one,
The Eid one, oh.
Eid 2019. Yeah. Okay, so that's
Tagine
good.
was
Yeah.
I thought she was really good with that goat.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Again, the list is long, but I would go with GSP, Khabib, um,
Anderson.
Anderson Silva. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure,
It's a good list.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good list if you're playing football, but
Yeah.
that's a good list.
Speaking of football, recently Real Madrid. Are you? Who are you with the side with Real Madrid or Liverpool, or are you like because people right now half the world is with Barcelona, half people with
No, no,
Real
I wanted,
Madrid.
I wanted
Yeah.
Liverpool to win, to
Yeah,
be
I
honest.
wanted Liverpool. to win as well.
I go with any team that goes with Liverpool.
Yeah.
I go with any team that goes against Liverpool.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Why?
I love
'Cause-
Liverpool.
I don't know. I've just got something against Liverpool.
Really?
Because of Mohamed Salah or something?
No,
You,
no.
you
it's
don't
just-
like Egyptians in
What
general?
don't you
Hold on,
like?
hold on.
The
You wanna
Arab
fight
side?
with
You don't
Egyptians?
like the Arab side of him or the African side of him? Which one do you don't
Ah,
like?
there you go.
No, it's
No,
just
he
like-
really is an Afro-Arab.
No,
like
I think-
literally.
Literally.
Yeah. I think I had a few bad experiences
Liverpool?
with the Scousers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
totally get
that's
it, bro.
why. So that's why I go against Liverpool.
I totally get it.
I just take it out on football.
Last question from my side, technically. When are you going to get your black belt in Jiu-Jitsu? I'm sick and tired of this brown belt that I'm wearing, you're wearing, everyone's wearing. When are you getting your black belt? I mean, I know you, in your record, you had like so many submissions, but we never talked about the cartwheel, by the way. You know?
Yeah, well, we can talk about it now. Why?
Yes.
I don't know why you decided to take it upon yourself to end the
No,
episode.
no, I'm not
like
ending
right
the
now.
episode. No. Okay, so let's
We got an hour and a half, bro. We got 2 hours if we want.
No, because people consider themselves either strikers or grapplers, and I believe no matter what you say with your brown belt, blah blah blah, and your submissions, I believe you are a striker. Period. Whatever you want to convince me, la la la, whatever I consider you a striker. So my question is, what do you consider yourself, and tell us about the cartwheel.
I consider myself a well-rounded fighter because it's very balanced. I think I've got 3 submissions, 3 knockouts, TKOs, and 4
Sweet.
decisions, if I remember well.
Yes.
So yeah, I consider myself a well-rounded fighter. For the cartwheel kick, that's a strange story. Like I haven't drilled it a lot. I drilled it just like a few times in training. Like nobody knew that I was gonna go for it because I was just doing it on my own on the bag. And that fight, I have a good friend of mine called Davey Boomer. He was helping me warm up, and I honestly think that kid he's got ADHD or something is wrong with him. You know, he doesn't think very well sometimes. You know. And he was actually sparring with me. He wasn't making me warm up. He was sparring with me. We were like going at it. And my ego started kicking in. And we were like literally fighting before the fight. So I could feel like my body's tensing up. And
Yeah.
I'm getting tired and the lactic acid and everything. I was like, man, I need to do something to finish this fight as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to be in trouble. I was like literally my arms were tired. They were heavy. Like everyone was watching us in the warm-up area, like what are these idiots doing, you know? But for me it was that ego thing, like, you know, I was always competing with this guy. He was really good, really good, and I always wanted to be better than him and him trying to be better than me, and we were competing in a good way, but it was just the wrong moment. It was just before a fight. And going into this fight, I kept repeating myself, I have to finish it fast, I have to do something to finish it fast. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try the cartwheel kick. I'm just gonna try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work,
It's a long night.
Yeah.
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So just going in, I see the guy. He was a boxer, and he's trying to throw his shots. I'm moving away, and I was a little bit bigger than him as well. And then I think he thought that I was gonna shoot for the takedown. And he thought that I was gonna grapple with him, because when I lower myself to do the cartwheel, and it was actually a one-handed cartwheel. I don't know how I did that. Usually
It's
I
the
go with both
capoeirista
hands,
coming out.
yeah.
You could hear
never-
banana.
And I've never done
Yeah.
capoeira or anything
Yeah.
like that, you know. So when I went for it, I think both of my feet actually hit him. It's one foot and one heel, because you hear in the video, if you listen to the video, you're gonna hear like two slaps, pop, pop. So it landed. I was like, I felt the impact, okay, and then all of a sudden I hear him falling to the ground like a stud, and that's when I knew, okay, I got it. And then I just jump on him, finish with some elbows and punches, and then I started screaming because because the adrenaline was.
Yet in tapology, they don't put elbow strikes or anything. They call it cartwheel. you know?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, he was out, and just like I think the excitement.
So why would you keep on hitting him?
Because he's being a dick. That's why.
Because I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because
You
you remember,
just said-
yeah, no, but you gotta remember that
But
he was upside down, landing on the floor, and he
But
had to kind of
but
figure
he-
out what was
but
going
he-
on when you
But
got
he
up.
just said he heard pop, pop. That's the two
He's
hits.
talking about YouTube
And
after.
the
that.
boom.
No, I'm talking about you two.
Yeah,
but
he's
when I
talking
was in the moment,
Yeah.
I just felt like it landed and he fell, but I didn't know that he was out. Because you'll see, I think he's still covering up. He's still covering up.
Yeah, it's called fetus
And
position.
that's-
When you're in a car
Yeah,
accident,
yeah.
you're like, oh.
It's called dead, bro. When you die, you tend to usually look like you're covering
No,
up.
I
for
mean,
something.
if you've watched some of my fights, like sometimes I don't go to finish the fighter. Like for example, against
Yeah.
the Brazilian guy Leandro, when I landed the hook and I saw that he stiffened up and he fell in an awkward way, I knew he was out. So I put my hands up. I didn't want to go and like
Yeah.
do some more damage, you know.
Mm.
But in this one, I didn't know.
Nice. So, what does the future hold now for you, when it comes to fighting, teaching,
I mean,
playing guitar,
I-
serenading?
I love everything that I'm doing right now. I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm doing. I love the coaching aspect, exploring music, commentating as well. I'm commentating. I would like to thank all the people that have helped me, including Riyadh.
I'm
including
losing jobs because of
Yeah,
this.
right.
Hosni, including Ammar. Like they've all helped me a lot with it. I'm enjoying that a lot. Getting back in shape again, getting back to fighting. As soon as I get any information about fighting, I'm in as well. So the plan is to go back to my fighting and go as far as I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and get it done. Rio, would you like to leave the people with anything if they're still here listening to us? Because usually they would love to hear Mounir, but they heard me and you at the same time, so they're just like, what is this?
Look, Anas, in my opinion, one of the, the guys, first of all, well-educated, good family, but above and beyond, very entertaining. Win, lose, or draw, very entertaining, very funny. He's one of those people that I wish that there are more students, like if you want to take a private lesson stuff, but not have the boring jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Okay, do drills while the instructor is going to go and look at his phone to check his social media. Go with Anas Siraj Mounir,
Thank
one
you.
of the few people that turns off his mobile while he's teaching. True story. Go around and look in your gym. Look how many people are teaching you and how many times they go and approach their mobile. And look at this man. He never touches his mobile while he's teaching. So he's one of those people that can really relay the message in a funny way and makes it much, much better. Well educated, speaks a lot of languages, and I'm getting paid for this. But,
Exactly.
but it's true
Thank you
story,
very
and I
much.
really
Thank you.
admire this man.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but I want to know, he drops the phone. Is that because he needs both of his hands for the guitar while he's sitting?
There you go.
I picture he's like, your first lesson is jiu-jitsu. Tune this for me.
Yeah,
right?
You know?
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything that you felt like we missed out?
No, I think we've covered everything. I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's just.
Just the fight left between you and Rio to watch,
Yeah.
just to keep filming.
No, just one note, by the way. First
Yeah.
time or the first couple of times he went on TV, remember? I used to send him messages, and I smile more. Smile
During
more.
the-
So during the thing, and I would see the reaction, like because they go in between, and
Yeah.
they cut to fights and they go back to him, and I swear to God, I see when I talk about coaches and telling fighters what to do, and they listen to them. He's one of those people that actually listen, So you see him. One part he's
Just
just very
evolving,
very,
yeah.
very serious, and they see the next one smiling, So this is something I remember. He's very coachable and stuff. That's
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
good, and we hope to see many more fights and many more commentator gigs coming up. And I feel like I need to come and commentate one of the fights with you as well, or at least just sit there. I don't know. I just want to be involved. I got FOMO right now. I got FOMO. Let me just hold your guitar, man. I'll be the guitar guy that will walk around behind you with the guitar. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. It was an amazing episode, and to many more in the future, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Guys, I've been AJ. Come on, say.
Thank you very much for having me as well. It's been a pleasure, honestly, for both having both of you guys here. It's just like it doesn't
sure.
feel like an interview. It feels like
Right?
a chit
think
chat
we need to
with
do this more
friends
often,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah,
always
it
a
was
pleasure
very
being
entertaining.
with AJ and the Moroccan sensation.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you very much, guys.
We have to leave on like
On the Seinfeld thing. That
no, no,
dun,
no,
dun,
no,
dun,
no,
dun.
no, no. The music, really bad 70s music,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the porno.
See, look, if you could just take a shirt off for a second, we can. Film
The
this.
rest of the interview will be in the
Exactly.
jacuzzi.
Guys, I'll see you later. Boom.
When I just passed my high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like most of
Yeah.
teenagers, I didn't know. I had no clue. My father had me pass the exam for medicine. I passed it. I didn't want to do medicine. They told me just pass the exam and see how it goes. And I was thinking, man, I'm gonna study for years, and then I was looking at it like short term. I didn't see the long term. And then again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So at the end, when it was like last minute, my dad was like, you know what? I found this uni for IT. You're gonna go and become an IT engineer. And I did.
I love
And I
that.
studied. While as a kid, I wanted to become a professional football player. That was my dream. That's what everybody thought I was gonna be. You know, I was good. And I remember this vividly as a kid. My dad asked me, "Oh, what do you want to do when you grow up?" I want to become a football player. He's like, "Go do your homework. That doesn't
Yeah,
work here
yeah.
in Morocco," which is true. You need to know someone. When I just passed my high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like most of
Yeah.
teenagers, I didn't know. I had no clue. My father had me pass the exam for medicine. I passed it. I didn't want to do medicine. While as a kid, I wanted to become a professional football player. That was my dream. That's what everybody thought I was gonna be. You know, I was good.